What's blue but smells like red paint? Well, blue paint. Hey folks, welcome to This Week in History. Let's get this puppy going. On June 13th in 313, the decisions of the Edict of Milan were published in Nicodemia. The biggest of these decisions was the religious freedom throughout the Roman Empire, but yeah, that didn't really last. In 1740, the siege of St. Augustine began as part of Georgia provincial governor James Oglethorpe's unsuccessful attempt to take Spanish Florida. On June 14th of 1216, after the city was abandoned by King John, Winchester fell to the forces of France's Prince Louis as part of the First Barons' War. Louis would end up taking roughly half of John's kingdom, and don't worry, we're working on a video about old John. On June 15th in 763 BC, a solar eclipse was recorded by the Assyrians, which would eventually be used to set the time frame for Mesopotamian history. In 923, in a rare occurrence, King Robert I of France was killed and King Charles the Simple was captured during the Battle of Soissons. This was a rare occurrence because how often do both leading kings get taken out in a single battle? Yeah, not often. On June 16, 363, Roman Emperor Julian began marching his invading force back up the Tigris River after burning his fleet of supply ships and giving up his plans to take over Persia. By the way, the Persians continued to attack the Romans as they withdrew, and during one of these attacks, Julian was wounded and died a few days later. And of course, a shout out to our patrons, Steve Stevens, Clayton Jaimes, and Ebony Coleman. We appreciate everything you're doing for us. And we appreciate what everybody else does as well with watching, liking, sharing, all the good stuff like that. But if you'd like to do more, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can check out the links down in the description below. On June 17th at 1242, 24 carriage loads of Jewish religious documents, particularly copies of the Talmud, were burned after the Disputation of Paris, where Jewish writings were put on trial for being blasphemous against Christianity. This was an attempt to destroy all Jewish writings. In 1397, the Kalmar Union was formed under the rule of Margaret I of Denmark. Now, we've discussed the Kalmar Union here before, including its part in the Stockholm bloodbath, which is pretty interesting and you might want to find out more about here. On June 18th at 860, a fleet of 200 Rus ships arrived outside of the Byzantine capital of Constantinople and began to sack the city's suburbs during the Byzantine-Rus War. We still don't know exactly why the Rus eventually left. There was very little resistance due to the Byzantines stretching their military power rather thinly, and the Rus could have easily taken the city, and they very may well have, and it was simply recorded that they were driven off by the Virgin Mary. Yes, that's the actual story written down. The city was saved by the Virgin Mary. In 1053, 3,000 Norman horsemen easily defeated the troops of Leo IX at the Battle of Civitate. On June 19th of 1586, English colonists abandoned Roanoke Island for the first and lesser well-known time. This time they just went back to England, and yeah, we don't know what happened the second time. And that's just gonna about do it for this week, but we'll see you back here next week, same squirrel time, same squirrel channel. Be happy, be healthy, and y'all come back now, you hear?